Do you want to experience the thrill of a Packers game at Lambeau Field? If so, be sure to get your game tickets from the longtime trusted source in Wisconsin, Ticket King. Visit their locations in Milwaukee and Green Bay, or just go to their website, theticketking.com. Again, that's theticketking.com.
And now, for fans of the 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers, this is Cheesehead TV Live.
Cheetahs don't stretch, and neither do we.
I think you're an idiot. And I mean that with the most respect possible that I can give to an idiot.
Packers Hall of Fame quarterback Jay Cutler.
It's not as fun to say as equanimous.
That is a perfect example of a wrong opinion. Ring the bell. Welcome back, Packers fans. We are live at the Watershed in Tempe and live on YouTube at our Cheesehead TV Live page. Jason Perone and Jeremy Vanderlinden of Cheesehead TV. So glad to be back. Have some Packers football to hopefully erase the memory of last week.
Please.
You can follow me on Twitter at Jason Perone. You can follow Jeremy at JeremyRVDL. You can follow the show at CHTV Live. So as the bar starts to fill up here, and we're getting ready for a big Sunday night game with the Packers and Patriots, we had an interesting week, Jeremy. We talked about it on our show on Wednesday. So Ty Montgomery, Clinton Dix no longer part of the Green Bay Packers. And so now this week they tried to move ahead and get back on track as they visit one of the toughest places to play, Foxborough in New England.
Yep. So tough road trips here back to back. I think it is a concern that they're in New England. I mean, Mike has coached pretty well against New England, even though the past couple of years Packer fans are pretty down on Mike McCarthy as a coach. But I think he can, they can figure things out in New England. They've done it before. So hopefully we can clean that nasty taste out of our mouth from last week against the Rams. They should have won that game. They should have had a shot to win that game at the end. They didn't. So now we move on. And we watch these Packers take on the Patriots.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy has stepped up and coached well against Belichick. I don't know, if it's this thing where he realizes he's got to bring his A game. I don't know why he wouldn't do that every single week.
Right.
But in 2014, they met at Lambeau Field. The Packers won a thriller there, 26-21. It was a lot of back and forth, and it was kind of what you expect from a Rodgers versus Brady. This is actually only the second time that Rodgers and Brady have both started for their teams against each other. Now, they don't play against each other. They aren't going to face each other, so there is no Rodgers versus Brady, and I'm not having any of that talk. That's for those of you who believe in quarterback wins and rings and all that stuff. That's not me. But it's going to be a fun thing to watch. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored, and you got Packers, Patriots, and that's what you want. And I think the NFL did well by putting this one on prime time. So we'll kick it off with the offense. And
before we get to that, let me do the inactives. So for the Packers, it's Tim Boyle, Drew Kasser, Tony Brown, Corey Toomer, Justin McCray, Alex Light, and Geronimo Allison. So Geronimo Allison out tonight. Kind of not necessarily big news. MVS has stepped up the last few weeks, so we'll see more of Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So that's fine. And then for the Patriots, no Gronk tonight.
Okay.
Gronk is inactive for the New England Patriots.
Sony Michel's playing.
Michel is also
out. He's out?
He is out.
They're both out. And they're without one of their linemen. So this could be an interesting one for Green Bay. But, statistically speaking, not a must-win. But I think from a confidence standpoint, from a we need to move forward standpoint, they really need to have this one. They need to find a way to win this game. And that's asking a lot, winning in a place that's tough to win in the beginning. And the Patriots have yet to lose at home so far this year.
Right. They need to get this back on track. This is the week to do it. It's time. So just double checking. Both those two are inactive, as well as Shaq Mason. He's their best. He's their best offensive lineman, and he is out tonight. He is a guard, which is great for the Packers because they can create pressure up the middle, which we will talk about, and that's something they're going to want to do. So yes, Jason, let's get to the offense.
Offense. Rodgers does this better than anybody. End zone, Cobb, touchdown! Unbelievable!
All right. So before we get to the offense, we're at the Watershed here in Tempe, Arizona. If you're local in the Phoenix area, come out and see us, watch the game with us tonight. The lake outside of the restaurant bar is absolutely beautiful. It's got the shimmer of the sunset on it.
Yeah, the view here is absolutely great.
Stunning. So anyway, offensively, obviously Aaron Rodgers runs this offense, so everything's kind of runs through 12 and on his arm, R12 that is. But the Packers are down one running back, and they have Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones now. And a lot of fans are actually kind of excited about that because there's one less thing to distract Mike McCarthy from making the obvious decision, which is to continue to run Aaron Jones. Now, Jones got more carries last week. He was very effective. He had a long touchdown run, his longest run of the year. Unfortunately, they had a bad play call in the end zone, and that didn't turn out well for the Packers. But, Jeremy, pass to set up the run or run early and set up the pass later?
I think they need to I think they really need to lean on the run. This team it's a team that could really thrive with the play action pass, but Mike's got to commit to the running game consistently to set that up. Marquez Valdez-Scantling has fantastic speed. And that play that we saw against the Rams last week, obviously, it has the ability to get off the line and blow past a guy. So that him in the play action pass deep would be fantastic. So they really need to lean on the running game. And I mean, it's time for Aaron Jones, right? It's Aaron Jones' time, right?
Right.
It's got to be.
Yeah, it is, and I think you'd be smart about how you use them. And if you're going to get gimmicky, which Mike McCarthy is guilty of doing sometimes at the wrong time, you don't have Ty Montgomery anymore, but you still have Randall Cobb. You still like to put Randall Cobb back there. And the problem is when you do, it becomes very predictable, and the Packers offense needs to find a way to keep New England guessing. I just don't think when you do gimmicky things like that, Mike McCarthy's just not very good at disguising those things. So if you're not going to get away with disguising it, just do what you do well. You've got your offensive line healthy and starting. Corey Linsley's going to play. He had a little bit of a knee issue this week. There were some questions about whether or not he'd be ready to go. So the offensive line has all their preferred starters out there. You keep Aaron Rodgers clean. They pick up a big win here, and I think the offense is going to be a big part of it. Now, Randall Cobb, I think, could be a very, very valuable thing in this game, in a big game like this, moving the chains, kind of seizing the moment. You got some young guys out there. I think Marquez Valdez-Scantling is going to get more looks this week. He's probably going to have close to 10 targets. He's fast.
I actually played him in 2 fantasy leagues, which seems very homerish from the outside looking in, but I know he's going to get a bunch of snaps. Even last week with Geronimo and Cobb back, he had the second most snaps of the receivers.
Yeah, he's a part of this offense now, and he's got the trust of the head coach and of the quarterback, and so we're only going to see more of him, and that's good. He gives them that speed option. It can open up some things on the other side for Devontae Adams, underneath for Cobb, guys in the slot, possibly Equanimeous St. Brown. Maybe Jimmy Graham actually comes up big and has a bigger game this week.
Right.
I would imagine the Patriots and Bill Belichick are very good at taking away what they want to take away, and I would think in this case tonight they're probably going to key in on Adams and Jones and make everyone else beat them. But I still think the Packers can pull it off.
Right. So real quick before we go too much further, I just want to say hi to some people in the chat. Emin Karim, I think I said that right. Nick Miller, Trailmaker number 6, Jake H., welcome to the chat. Chad Bartell, welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. Thanks for joining us for Cheesehead TV Live. Yeah, I think the Patriots do a good job of taking away what they want to take away when they want to, but the Packers, if McCarthy does this right, they have enough on all levels of the offense, on all parts of the offense, to figure out how to succeed somewhere. Now, McCarthy's going to have to coach one heck of a game. His best coaching performance ever was against New England.
2014.
He needs to do that again. And I think you were right. He somehow, for whatever reason, steps up for a game against the Patriots. Something about it being Belichick. I think it gets his competitive juices flowing, and he wants to step it up and make his team roll against New England. So he's going to have to. A lot of this is on Mike. He's going to have to use the tools that he has in his toolbox and not mess around too much. And I'm a tad nervous that. A little quiet. Just want to go up. Yeah. Up. Okay, I'll work on that. So I'm a tad nervous that we're going to have a little more of that tension that we experienced last week, and that's just something that's kind of the hallmark of Mike McCarthy's teams, though, is they play well and they've got a lot of talent and skill, but they just kind of tense up and get nervous in times and in big moments, and that's kind of the culture of this team. Now they've succeeded and overcome it and won a lot of games that way. I'm not saying it's not a winning formula necessarily. But when you look at some other teams that just kind of seize the moment, are ready for it, and seem like they were prepared, kind of like the Patriots, it does kind of make you wonder if the Packers leave some things on the table when they're not playing as loose. But if there's a game where they're going to have to kind of find their happy place, it's definitely a game like this one. Very, very tough. Probably one of the toughest road games in the entire schedule in the NFL. Right. Yes, I agree. It's definitely that. So last week, special teams was an issue, so we probably should spend a moment talking about special teams in this one, and especially given some of the changes that took place this week. All right, let's do it.
Special teams.
This to send the Packers into the NFC Championship game. It is good! The Packers are moving on! And Mason Crosby, a hero for Green Bay.
So one of the biggest storylines was last night about this time. There was news hitting that the Packers had signed another punter, and we didn't know immediately why. We know now. We didn't know at the time, and there was a bunch of panic about whether or not the Packers were giving up on J.K. Scott, the fifth-round draft choice from this season. He did not kick very well last week, and it's like, but Brian Gutekunst is going full house cleaning here on anybody who didn't perform last week. And
well, that's what it felt like.
There was all sorts of panic. They signed another punter, and lo and behold, we found out that J.K. Scott and his wife are expecting a baby. And
so congratulations to J.K. Scott.
Congratulations to J.K. Scott, who is active tonight and will be the punter. The other punter they signed is not active tonight. So J.K. Scott will be out there kicking, and he's had a couple of good games. Hopefully he can rebound and have a good one tonight. That's going to become important when the Packers have to kick. They need to flip the field. But in the return game, especially on kick return, I think it's a foregone conclusion since Marquez Valdez-Scantling was also back there to help on return duties when Ty Montgomery was with the Packers, that he'll probably take over those primary duties.
I'd be fine with that. Lots of speed, lots of athletic ability for that kid, so I think that he could do well there. But you know what? Honestly, the problem with the Packers is they don't really have any other options. They don't have better options. It's not like I feel better about one guy over the other. I would feel fine with Randall Cobb doing it because it's safe. You know, it would be a safer choice.
Well, you know, and to your point, one thing about Cobb is that I think his snaps on offense are probably only going to become more quality over quantity because you've got MVS stepping up, who's looking more like an outside receiver than a slot, but as Equanimeous St. Brown also continues to etch out his role in the offense, Randall Cobb's snaps are going to probably dwindle. I mean,
even more limited.
Well, because after this season, I don't think Randall Cobb will be back.
Well, Equanimeous is probably your slot guy in the future.
I think they're counting on that.
Right. So, yeah.
So use Cobb in the return game. You can use him because you're not risking as much to the offense.
As big of a key to the offense. Yes, exactly.
Right.
Joe in the chat asks if the Packers were trolling everybody by not explaining the punter signing immediately.
No, that's what they do. The Packers communications, they have the most interesting formula in the league, which is let's rile everyone up for no reason and just not explain ourselves.
Right, yeah, exactly. They don't feel like they owe anything to anyone. So they do what they need to do, and they move on. We do have a Patriots fan in the chat. Welcome to the chat, Tommy Brady. Welcome to the chat. And good job not being a total troll. So that's a good start. We're off to a good start with this Patriots fan joining us. Actually, we have some Patriots fans in the bar. I told them I was going to give them crap, but really it doesn't matter. They're Patriots fans, so I don't really have a whole lot of crap to give you. Except this, 1996. I'll say that and that alone. 1996 Super Bowl.
Let's go back, way back in the crates. Congrats on the Red Sox. Let's leave it there.
Shut your mouth.
All right. Okay. That was, all right. Hey, that's the American League.
All right, fair enough.
So on special teams, that's kind of your story. Crosby obviously is going to need to kick well tonight. I don't think there's any major weather issues that are going to create any storylines there. So moving on to who stole the show or starred in the show for the Packers last week, especially in the beginning of that game through most of the first half, and that was their more stout defense.
Defense. Sorry. I was reading the chat and not listening to Jason. I think that's a weekly occurrence.
Jeremy's trying to interact with the troll on the chat.
He's not trolling.
Yeah,
no. Defense. They're down in 17. More pressure. Ball is out. Green Bay's got it. Daniels again.
So, defense. This was a good thing last week. Jair Alexander, the rookie cornerback, 5 passes defense, which is the most since 2006.
Right.
It's been a long time since they've had a single corner do that. So I would expect a lot of Alexander on Julian Edelman in the slot, try to take away Tom Brady's security blanket.
And with no Gronk, he's really going to want to rely on him.
Yeah. So Gronk is out. And then Tremont Williams is going to move back to safety next to Kentrell Bryce in the spot vacated by HaHa Clinton-Dix. I think that's going to be fine. I think they'll be okay. The Patriots do like to stretch the field. I do think that could still be an issue. Chris Hogan's a deep threat.
Right.
They can still get down. You got James White. James White can get behind a defense if you're not paying attention. James White's one of their leading receivers, even though he's not a wide receiver by trade. So the defense will have their hands full. The Patriots offense, Josh McDaniels, they're a good unit. They do well. They've been doing it for a long time.
Right.
This is always a big measuring stick. If the Packers want to cement themselves as a top defense, they got to have a good night tonight.
They got to have a good night tonight. Tommy Brady in the chat says, you guys got a lot of pressure on Jared Goff last week. I was shocked. Well, don't be surprised tonight if they get a lot of pressure on Tom. The problem with the Patriots offensive line specifically is they're a little weaker in the middle, and without Shaq Mason, the Packers' strength on their defense is right in the middle there with Mike Daniels and Kenny Clark, and they're going to be bringing pressure from the middle. I would expect the Packers to be trying to collapse that pocket and try to get Tom a little uncomfortable tonight. I think Tom Brady will struggle a little bit with those guys up front because they are nasty, and that's the thing the Packers are going to go for tonight. I really think that they're going to try to make Tom Brady throw outside the numbers and deep downfield. It's not necessarily something he leans on anymore. So what Tom likes to do now, what Brady likes to do, he likes to depend on those short routes, middle of the field routes. He likes the dump off passes to the running back. Tom really knows what he's doing. Tom Brady is one of the smartest players in the league and has been for a long, long time. He knows what he's doing. And James White coming out of the backfield is going to be a real struggle for this defense. So what they really need to do is try to figure out how to shut down those short passes and shut down the middle of the field and force Tom to throw it to the outside of those receivers. So
here's the deal. The Patriots know everything you just said to be true. They already know that. They've scouted it, and they're prepared for it. So the defensive backside pursuit has got to be tight tonight. Because I could see Tom Brady getting pushed out to his right, for example. Jailbreak, everyone's going after him. He looks dead to rights, and he just turns and flicks his wrist and throws it across the field to James White, and there's not a single defender over there, and James White just walks all over the field tonight. So the backside's got to be there. They've got to stay disciplined. They've got to be prepared for everything. They've got to expect some unexpected things, other unexpected looks. They've got to be ready for it, and because that's what the Patriots are going to try to take. They're going to try to turn your biggest strength into somewhat of a weakness and a strength for themselves.
They're gonna use the aggressiveness the Packers will have up front against them. They're at least going to try. I do think that I think Tom Brady's going to be able to move the ball how he wants to a lot of the game. They just need to show up in key moments. They're not going to shut down this Patriots offense. That's not going to happen. The Patriots always figure out how to move the ball and score. They're going to do that again tonight, like they always do. But the Packers' defense recently, as of late, they've been able to stop teams at the end of games when they've absolutely needed it and give the offense a chance. And that's, I think, what it's going to come down to is the defense showing up and giving the ball back to the offense and allowing the Packers offense to go down and win this game. I think it's kind of one of those things where you're not going to stop them. You really just need to contain. You need to contain what that offense can do and make key stops when it's needed.
Well, the Patriots will give up yards. They'll give up yards and let you get close, and then they'll clamp down when you get towards the end zone and make you kick field goals versus trying to get into the end zone. And that's where the Patriots are successful and they end up winning games because they're keeping you out of the end zone and they're keeping points off the board. So Green Bay, as much as we say it every week, and it seems obvious and it gets frustrating because it doesn't always happen, they've got to find the end zone tonight. They're not going to get through. They're not going to get by kicking field goals in this game.
SV Moore, I think I said that right. Asked if we're going to see Josh Jones tonight. Josh Jones.
Josh Jones will be out there. On defense, I don't really know exactly what his role is going to be. I think if he was going to play more, he would be playing more already. And that they didn't just put him back there, a pure safety on their roster, and they moved Tremont Williams, a 35-year-old vet, back there instead. Tells me that there's still some question marks or some issues with Jones. Jones might want to play, and he's saying he wants to play, and you're not going to draft me in the second round not to play me, but there's always a reason why something is happening. There might be more to the story than we're aware of. So if we see Josh Jones, great. I just want to see him used in the best role possible. Now, no Rob Gronkowski, I think, is going to allow the Packers to free up and use Josh Jackson very effectively because I think Jackson was probably going to be your guy to guard Gronk, and now he's going to be freed up a little bit. Packers are going to need to force a couple turnovers in this game if they want to win, and the Patriots just don't cough it up much at home, so that's a tough task.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say we see more Bashad Breeland tonight than Josh Jones.
Well, we'll see him, period, because he's finally active, and I think he's been active once before. I just don't know if he got in the game, but he is active tonight, so Breeland will play, or he will be in uniform, I should say. Shouldn't say he'll play. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't because that would be a very Packers thing for them to do. But as long as they've got the right personnel and the right guys out there, I think they make a game of it. But the defense is going to be called on to come out big and strong and play well. contain New England, get off the field, obviously let the offense try to operate. The offense they've got to find their rhythm, and they've got to find a way to get in a groove,
right?
Eat up some clock, and that's going to be their ticket to winning this game.
So how do you feel about Tremont being at safety?
I like it. I'm fine with it because of his mental awareness.
Agreed.
He's not the most skilled guy back there, but
he's not the fastest.
His mental awareness means he's probably going to be in the right spot, and he can still get beat deep. That doesn't mean he's not going to get beat deep, and I think that might happen tonight. So we may be saying earlier than later, like, oh, was it a mistake to put Tremont back there? He doesn't have the speed anymore, so that's an issue. But at safety, it's really more about knowing where to be on the field. That's why Nick Collins was so good back in the day. He was always in place, and he put himself in position to make plays.
And I think Tremont is smart enough to do that. He is smart enough to be that type of player. And one of the things that I really love about having Tremont back playing safety, it's nice to have a real leader in the back of that defense, because Clinton Dix wasn't that. He wasn't ever going to be that. He never achieved it. And so Tremont can be that guy. He can do that. He can play in that role, the leadership role in the back end of the defense. I think he's going to be a big help for this defense at safety. And the nice thing about it is you have a bunch of corners that are still pretty darn good and can come in and play. And it's not like Tremont was even the top corner on the team. It's just that you don't need him at corner. And it's nice to be in that position where they have other guys who are ready to come in and ready to play, ready to start, and fill that role, fill that position that he's vacating.
If he can just be steady back there.
Right. Sound. Assignment sure.
Like when Charles Woodson played safety, he was always in the right place, and he was smart, and he knew where to be. And he was Charles Woodson. You're not going to find that. I mean, Tremont Williams is not at all Charles Woodson. But to have the intelligence and the smarts back there, I think hopefully we'll see that pay off. Because you've got to, against a team like New England, mistakes are going to be very costly, even the smallest of them. So you've got to be assignment sure, and you've got to be ready to go. So I guess the only thing left to do is call this one.
All right. You want to make your prediction first?
So I do think from a confidence standpoint, this game is very important for the Packers. It's one they have to have. The pressure's on them after not getting one last week against the Rams. It's New England. It's on the road. I haven't seen the Packers win here at all under Mike McCarthy. Aaron Rodgers has never played here before. This year's team is just struggling. It's at certain times. I think they can pull out a win tonight. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it'll be a close game, but I think New England will steal this one by 3 or 4. And I won't be surprised if it comes down to the end and it's another thriller that just ends with the Packers falling a little bit short on the road.
All right, a couple little things from the chat here before I make my prediction. Luke Birch says, #no knee brace. So I don't know if that's breaking news and Aaron Rodgers isn't going to wear the knee brace tonight, but that might be the case. Amigo Jones says, Jair's going to grab another pick tonight. I hope so. That would be fantastic. I am going to pick. The reason I let you go first is because I'm really not sure who to pick.
It's kind of like ordering at a restaurant. You want someone else to order first so you have more time to look at the menu.
Right, but the problem for me is I'm still staring at the menu and your food's been ordered. So the problem for me is the Packer fan within me wants to pick the Packers. But the realist within me says, you know what, they haven't proven to me they can play a full game. Why would they start tonight? I'm not sure that I can pick the Packers, but I'm going to do it. I'm picking the Packers. I'm taking the Packers against the Patriots because they're in a gotta-have-it situation.
There's that watershed crowd.
Yeah, there we go. I'm
here.
picking the Packers against the Patriots tonight because their backs are to the wall. They got nothing to lose. They got to figure out how to win tonight. So I'm taking the Packers. I'm going to take them 28-24. They go downfield to win the game on offense. They actually get to finish the storyline from that Rams game that was so sadly stolen away from them. So Packers tonight. I'm picking the Packers. Jason, I'm sorry. I know how you've been feeling. Jason's been down. He has been down about this Packers team. Hopefully tonight they can turn it around for you.
It's just kind of the way this team works. So when they show it to me, then I can feel more confident picking them. But they need to show it to me first. You got to close out and you got to win.
That's fair, and that is why I almost picked the Patriots. I want to see it first, but I'm going to stick with them. I'm sticking with the Packers. I'm picking them. I think they can win tonight. There's no reason they can't. They can compete in New England.
None of the experts on TV, I'm looking at all these Patriots logos come up one after the other, all the TV
Hold on,
folks,
let's see. There's two more.
All the TV folks are picking New England.
You know what? That's fine.
Tony Dungy's going to pick the Patriots because he never picks the Packers.
They're all idiots.
Rodney Harrison's a moron, so he'll pick the Patriots too because he played for the team.
Right.
So that's that. That's
okay. No, you're right. We don't need
know
it.
that
Yep,
there's
there it is. There it is. Yep, both of all the experts picking the
clean
Patriots
sweep for the
tonight.
Patriots
You know what? They're all morons, and that's all right.
All right, so if you're going to a game at Lambeau Field by Giants and you want to get tickets, you're not going to be able to go get them at the box office. Obviously, the Packers are sold out for years and years. You got to go to theticketking.com. They've been a longtime sponsor of ours and a great supporter, and they have an office right next to Lambeau Field. So get your tickets at the Ticket King for football or any sporting or entertainment venue that you may be looking to visit. Again, Cheesehead TV Live. You can follow the show at CHTV Live. You can follow me at Jason Perrone. You can follow Jeremy at Jeremy RVDL. Please follow all of us because that's one of the biggest ways that you'll win a lot of the drawings that we're going to be doing. In fact, we'll probably be doing a couple here tonight at the Watershed. So signing off from Tempe, Arizona. There's nothing left to do but play the game. Go Pack, go. This has been Cheesehead TV Live.
Thank you for listening to Cheesehead TV Live. Check out cheeseheadtv.com for more great Packers content.